guys, welcome back to a new video. So I don't have a plan today on what I want to do to the Corolla, but as you can see outside, it's cold and rainy, nasty day. I just wanted to come out here in the garage and get a couple of things done. And specifically, I wanted to try and dial in the panel gaps just a little bit. And then I've also got I've got a rust spot up underneath the car that I need to take care of. What else? And I've got so much stuff left to do in this car, but I do have a little spot up here that needs a little bit of filler, so I can start sanding this windshield area down. And also the little rust spot up underneath the car that I'm gonna take care of is probably gonna need to be smoothed out just a little bit, even though you probably won't even see it. I wanna make sure it looks nice for when we apply the Raptor liner. I don't know, let's just get this video going, and whatever we run into, we'll take care of, and see if we can't dial some things in for today. I'm gonna set you all down right over here. And let's see so y'all can see a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and remove the fender side skirt, and we will start adjusting the hinges to see if we can't get that panel gap down there a little bit better. That's better. Okay, so let me explain a little bit about how I'm gonna make these adjustments on this door. So in particular, this door has an issue in the back where the back section is sticking out a little bit too far. Let me just show you. So this back section at the bottom is sitting out a little too far than it should be. So basically the idea here is to get this portion of the door to kick in, okay, which in turn is going to make this top portion kick out just a little bit. So when adjusting door hinges on a car, you've got pretty much, I guess, 3 ways to adjust the door. You can adjust it up and down from the hinges. You can adjust it in and out on this hinge here. And then also you have a latch on the door that in most cars you can adjust and change around to kind of lift that end of the door up higher, lower, something along those lines. So these hinges right here, what I plan on doing is I plan on leaving one of these pretty tight and then loosening up quite a bit on the bottom and up here as well. That should give us enough play to where I can take this door and actually push it in closer towards the car, hopefully to fix that portion down on the bottom sticking out further. All right, so let's see how that changed. So as you can see, making that slight adjustment fixed that gap almost perfect. I mean, you can't get much better than that. So now that we've got the door sitting flush all the way down this body line, the next thing to tackle is going to be this body line here. So as you can see, the door overall is sitting down a little bit lower than this body line here. So in order to fix that, we're going to try to adjust these hinges and try to lift the door up. So my plan of action here, since I'm only doing this by myself, is to loosen these bolts and those bolts on this hinge, and then I'm going to take some popsicle sticks and I'm just going to keep stacking them right there in that bottom gap to raise the door to where I want it when it's shut. Once I have it at that spot, then I'll tighten down all of these bolts and we'll see if the door opens and closes properly. Alright guys, so I have these bottom hinges both loose, and I was able to fit about 4 popsicle sticks in the front and 4 in the back here. That seems to get all my body lines right. Seems to be pretty much perfect. So now all I have to do is, while those hinges are loose, take this door and push it this way. That will make this gap a little bit bigger, which I think I want it to be around 3 popsicle sticks wide. Alright guys, so I think I got the driver's side door exactly where I want it. Now the fender's not 100% screwed down. I have 2 stripped bolts down there, so the bottom portion's not set. So this will adjust just a little bit, but you can adjust the fender separate from the door, so I'm not too worried about it. All of this will be flat when it's all nice and secure, but my main thing was this body line right here and getting that straight, and as you can see, that is pretty much dead on. So to recap on mounting doors to your project cars and getting the panel gaps right, this is the process that I did. First, you take the door and actually latch it onto the body of the car, and you saw that in my previous video. I'll put a link, I always get this wrong. I think right there, I'm gonna put a link so you all can take a look at that last video. But you get the door latched onto there, and then just attach the hinges. Get the hinges hooked up on the door and on the body, and then keep them loose. Once you have that done, you want to get the middle line, the back portion of the door where the latch is, you want to get that as perfect as you can right here this way. You want the panels to match up evenly. Luckily enough, with AE86s, Toyota was kind enough to make the hinges, they're not adjustable. You can't adjust the hinges. So these screws are tapered off, and when screwed in, that positions this hinge into one spot. So you can't adjust it forward this way, you can't adjust it back, up or down. And the same thing with the latching mechanism. These are tapered screws, and it puts this latching mechanism in one spot. So there's no adjustment there. So once you have the door mounted onto the car, this portion, the latch, of course, unless your latch is totally worn out or this is broken or something or bent, this should match up perfect. So once you're done with that, then we move on to adjusting the hinges. Again, you have 2 ways to adjust this door. I know I've got the fender on the car, but I'll explain how you want to fit it first. So once you have that middle section at the latch nice and even, then you want to adjust the pitch, I guess the pitch of the door. So if the door is pushed in or the door is pushed out, that is what we actually adjusted today on that rear side. In order to do that, you're going to tighten up the hinges that are on the door, at least 2 of them, one up top, one on the bottom. Make them snug, not crazy tight, and then the other ones can be loose. Once you've got that, then you can adjust and try and get the pitch of the door correct. Once you have the pitch of the door correct, you can tighten them down, and then you can mess with the other hinges the same way. Tighten 2 of them, and then leave 2 of them loose-ish. Then you can adjust the height of the door by bringing it up and bringing it down and getting all of these body lines nice and in the right spot. Okay, so I'm good with this side. Let's go ahead and move on to the passenger side of the AE86 and try and dial that door in and the panel gaps and everything a little bit more. Alright guys, so this door has successfully been adjusted. This quarter panel sticks out just a little bit more than the door, but again, I think that's because it's been replaced. And up here in the top corner, look at all that room. It's just like the other side. I think those are dialed in perfect. And of course, also the bottom of the door is the 4 popsicle sticks, just like we had over on the other side. And the body line, absolutely perfect. Look at that gap, it is perfect. Boom! Man, everything sits so good. And look at this difference. The whole reason why we tried to do that was to even up this door and quarter panel. You can tell there's still, it sticks out just a little bit more. But we'll work through that with some body work. Maybe I can massage this out just a little bit, but it's a lot better than it was. Even this roof line up here, this seems to be a lot closer to the roof here. This section does bow out a little bit, and I can tell right here something got wedged in there and actually bent this up. So that's gonna have to be, this whole top portion is gonna have to be worked down just a little bit, which I think if I heat it up with a heat gun and then just take some of those pliers with the rubber ends on them, just grab up there and kind of bend it down just a little bit, I think that's gonna look fine. I don't think there's gonna be any sort of issue, but you can tell even in with the reflection of the light there as I go across, right there. Definitely like a bump right here from where something got caught in there. But all this looks good, lines up perfect. Same thing on the other side. Lines up just the same. But this side is nice and flat the whole way across. This portion dips down a little bit than that side, but I'm not too worried about it. Again, I think I can pull this up just a little bit with some pliers or something and get this looking perfect. All right, so with the doors and fenders out of the way, let's move back to this trunk and try and fix this little portion right here that's not sitting correctly. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna climb into the car, get back behind here, loosen the hinges while the door is shut, and then we'll come out here and adjust these and the gaps to make them all nice and perfect where we want them to be, and tighten everything back down. Well guys, that about wraps it up for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and thanks to all of you all for your continued support of the channel. And with that being said, I actually have a question for you all. I don't really know what I want to paint this car yet, so if you have a color combo or a color option, please let me know in the comment section below. Give me your opinions, what you'd like to see. Also, I've been toying with this idea just a little bit. Of course, if you all have been watching this channel for a long time, you'll know I've got an 4AGE out of an AE92 that I planned on putting into this car, and I still am kind of thinking that, but I've also been toying with the idea of maybe going with a Beams engine. So what do you all think? Let me know in the comment section below. I think a Beams engine would be a lot of power for this car, and it would be a lot of fun. But I do think the 4AGE and carbing it would kind of keep the keeping it all sort of stock. So I don't know, it's got pros and cons to each engine, but I've really been thinking about it this past couple weeks. Don't quite know if you all can tell by my voice, but I think I finally caught that flu funk that everybody seems to be getting. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. If you all enjoyed this content, smash that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, hit that sub button as well. It really helps out the channel. Also, click that little bell notification if you want to be notified when new content comes out on this channel. And as always, stay tuned for more AE86 content. And until next time, I'll see you later.